Alright guys, welcome to Mason Boys Outdoors. I'm Shane Mason. This is my brother Mitchell Mason. I'm going to shoot a 45-70 and a 30-06. With the trajectory of the bullet, if you sight in a 30-06 at 25 yards, it'll hit dead on at 200 also. When I was younger and a deer was further out there, I would always aim high. And I was just shooting higher and higher over the deer. As I learned, you can Google the trajectory of your bullet. Say a 30-06 with a 165 grain bullet, and it'll hit at 25 and it'll hit at 200, and it's only 3 inches off at 100 yards, just 3 inches high. So you never need to aim high, just aim right at the deer, and you can aim, and it's a lot easier to sight your gun in at 25 yards and then just move your target out there if you want to see what it'll do at 100 yards. So we're going to shoot this box right here at 25 yards. Make sure our rifle is set in, and then we'll move it out there 100 yards and shoot a water bottle or something. I was about 1 inch low, and the thing you got to remember when you're sighting your gun in at 25 yards, when you move the dial on your scope is set to sight it in at 100 yards. So when you're sighting it in at 25 yards, one click, which is usually 1/4 of an inch at 100 yards, you're going to need to click it 4 times just for 1/4 of an inch. So I moved it 4 clicks 3 times, and now let's see what it does. I hit dead bullseye. So that being 25 yards, it should hit dead bullseye at 200 yards and 3 inches high at 100 yards. So the 45-70, it's a little bit different than the 30-06. It sighted in at 20 yards dead on, and then at 160 yards, it should come back down and hit it. And at 100 yards, it should be 3 inches high. So you only got a 3-inch difference at the whole arch of the bullet. So if a deer's out there 100 yards and I got my crosshairs on him, I pull the trigger. If I'm 3 inches high, I should be okay with a 45-70. It'll knock him down. Whoa! Check it out. About 3/4 of an inch low. And so we're gonna move it up. It's gonna be 4 clicks to every 1/4 of an inch at 25 yards, because the scopes are set to be sighted in at 100 yards. But we're sighting it in at 25 yards, so we gotta multiply everything by 4. So 4 clicks is only going to move it up 1/4 of an inch here, which at 100 yards, 1 click is 1/4 of an inch. And my daddy says always tap it, because sometimes they don't move. It comes from a man with much experience of shooting cheap scopes.
So I don't guess you'll get a task. Product endorsement on that then.
Yes, I am fixing to put a hole in that white piece of paper. Yep, it's there. And when you shoot, when you get down there and you get ready to shoot, take a deep breath in, and then settle yourself by breathing out. And then at the end of your breath, your crosshairs need to be settled on the target, and then just squeeze off and let the shock of you shooting the gun, let it surprise you a little bit. Not so much that you're gonna jerk and you're anticipating it, but just let the gun come back on you. Don't fight the gun. Like when you know the gun's gonna kick and you're getting ready for it. Let the gun come back on you and just rock you back. All right, we moved the target out to 150 yards with the trajectory of the 30-06. I sighted it in at 25 yards. It should be dead on at 200 yards. And at 120 yards, it should be 3 inches high. I'm gonna put my crosshairs on it, but on the bottom of it. Let's see what happens. Crank this baby up where I can see it. All right, now we're gonna shoot the 45-70. It's 150 yards. We sighted it in at 25 yards. It should hit dead on at about 150 yards. And at 100 yards, it should shoot anywhere a little over 3 inches high. But our water bottle is at 150 yards. So I'm gonna put the crosshairs dead on it, squeeze off, and see what happens. Ooh, I can see you now. Got it. And that's trajectory. We sighted in the 30-06 and the 45-70 at 25 yards. And we just hit a water bottle with the 30-06 and a water bottle with 45-70 at 150 yards. Each one shot. That's all it takes. All right, we couldn't have this gun over here sitting behind us and not talk about it a little bit. It's a 308. The guy that built it, Luke Martin, he said it was a 1 mile gun. We're gonna see what it does at 150 yards to some water bottles. All right, after careful investigation and inventory of all of our pockets and truck pockets and gun cases, we have come to the conclusion that we did not bring any 308 bullets. So it's a pretty gun, but it's nothing more than a stick without a bullet.
Hey, this is not the first time it happened this year. We went hunting without bullets 3 days ago.
Thank you guys for watching Mason Boys Outdoors. Subscribe, continue watching, and God bless.